Welcome back to another episode of Andrew Does. Today we're at the beaches trying to find out if there's any news stories people are sick of hearing about. Is there anything we're focused on? We've heard a lot about the Russia investigation for 3 years. We've heard a lot of stuff just being pummeled into us. So what are we sick of? What are we listening to? This is what Andrew does. And yes, it's hot again. Just one question, like right in front of here. This fancy bench. Yeah. Today we're just asking people if there's any news stories that we're sick of hearing about.
No. I don't think so.
What are we hearing most about these days? Any news stories you're interested in?
No.
No, nothing at all? What are we interested in?
I have no idea.
You don't know what you're interested in either.
Photography?
Oh, alright. What about you?
Nothing.
Nothing? A lot of excitement down here, guys. Bring the energy level up, alright, for the rest of the day, please. Thank you. See you later. I'm not paying attention. What do I like? I don't know. What am I paying attention to? I don't know. Stop filming my children, sir. Ma'am, you want to do an interview? No? She's sad. She's just a little sad. That's all. I get a shot of this guy. He's looking hot. He's looking real hot. Today we're just asking people if there's any news stories that we're sick of hearing about.
Not really.
What news stories are we hearing about overall then?
I don't know.
You don't know? What are we into? What are we doing here today?
We're swimming. Well, we're tanning because the beach is dirty.
The beach is dirty?
The water, they can't go in.
You're not allowed to?
No,
Well, we can swim at our own risk, but it's infested with bacteria, so.
Yeah. I heard a few people complaining on the beach saying like that they only came here to swim and now they can't.
Terrible, terrible news. I guess we can ask you, what's the last news story you heard about? That you cared about?
Don't really know.
You know, don't pay attention to the news at all?
Not really.
I mean, I don't really pay too much closer to the news, but like the important stuff. So like majority of like the school shootings, that stuff I pay more attention to because I feel it's more serious issues, or like the stuff that's going to the schools where they were going to close down more. They're focusing more on the higher end of like the language, math, sciences rather than the arts, because I'm really invested in the arts, and I felt like that wasn't the best idea to take, like, because the law that was just passed, I thought that was, you know.
No one cares about anything. That's what I'm learning. Don't go in the water though. Bacteria and such. Okay, today we're asking people what news stories are you sick of hearing about?
What?
Are there any stories in the news that you're tired of hearing about?
No.
What was the last story you heard about?
Well, maybe because the whole toxic waste in the ocean thing.
Yeah, you can't swim in there today, I'm hearing?
Yep, or your body parts are going to be extremely damaged. That too.
Okay, thank you.
So it's near you swim, die, or don't swim and stay alive.
This is sad. A sign of our times? Who knows? Well, that's good. The water's toxic and all. That's what you want. It is looking extra green today. I'll give you that. Rather green. Ma'am, you want to do an interview? Can she hear me? Hey, you want to do an interview? No? Okay, thank you. It is looking pretty gross though. It looks like when you're trying to make juice and it's not quite watered down enough. It's Pagan Pride Day apparently. We've stumbled upon some sort of pagan festival. We got everything you need here. The Zen shop. We got Mystic Moon blessings. Got Nature's Grove design. Everything you need for your pagan needs. I don't even know what this is. I'm not sure. But let's find out. Maybe. Alright, keeping with the pagan festival community, you want to get a shot of this girl looking awfully pagan. We're not exactly sure what's going on here, but what we do understand here is we've got some sort of LARPing community, and this is completely changing the direction of this video when we find LARPers. They're applauding. We got people in capes. Just want to get a shot of it and see what's going on. Let's go around and see what's going on here. Perhaps this was one of their weapons of choice. A staff, otherwise known as a stick. Excuse me, miss. Can I ask you what's going on here?
It was a circle.
Pardon me?
It was a pagan circle.
What does that mean?
Means that we gather together and we bless the harvest and the directions, and we just join together in a circle to thank the earth for what it gives us and what we can give back to it, and we thank it.
And how did you guys get together? How do you guys become this group?
Well, I heard about it from a store called the Bent Willow.
What are we eating?
So this is lammas bread. So she said that we could essentially just finish it off.
Who's she?
To nature. I don't know what her official title is because a lot of it is dependent on what someone prefers. So I guess you could just call her the Wicken Reverend if you want.
Okay.
Pardon? Okay, she prefers that title. Okay, perfect. So Reverend Marie told us that we could finish the rest of the lammas bread and put the rest back to nature.
We're actually Wicken, which is part of it, and it's a spiritual calling. So it's not, it's worshiping the gods and the goddesses in the earth, the sun, the moon, the stars. It's a calling to you. It's not something you just join, it's something that calls to you.
A lot of Wicca focuses on the cycle of the wheel, so the idea of kind of the balance of birth and death, the idea of the nature and seasons, kind of symbolically going along with the kind of rise and fall of our own lives and of each year as it passes. So the bread is kind of a beautiful symbol of birth and death because we have the corn and the harvest and the grain. And, it's planted, the seeds grow, it's cut down and it dies, but then it brings the seeds forth again. And
are we vegans or vegetarians?
There is a lot of crossover between those communities, but they aren't necessarily exclusive to each other. So many people who practice Wicca are not vegans and vegetarians. I actually am a vegetarian, but that is related to but not a part of my practice.
Okay, so wouldn't the killing and eating of an animal be the perfect metaphor for life and death, though? Or does it?
Oh, sure. But I think it just comes down to personal preference. And considering, I think a lot of people today are concerned with ethical reasons and environmental reasons, so there's lots of different reasons people might make a decision of dietary. But you can have ethically sourced meat, you can have access to all sorts of those things. But to determine whether or not someone's beliefs have to dictate, sure, maybe eating meat would be a perfect sacrifice of a circle, but why wouldn't plants
just serve the same purpose?
Serve the same purpose.
And there's also kind of an old saying that you could ask 10 Wiccans how they practice and get 11 answers. So we all have kind of a different relationship with the path and the wheel, and the whole point is going forward, working together, and essentially, doing no harm and putting positive energy into the world and trying to limit the input of negative energy.
Very cool.
They do this pagan pride thing every year. This is the first year I've been here, and I just saw they were doing a circle, and the person who was leading it, there's different sort of rituals you can do. It's called Lammas the ritual. For midsummer, it's the first harvest of the year, and I just thought they were doing a circle, so I came and joined in.
Very cool. You have a good time?
Yes, I did.
Are you going to come back next year?
Definitely.
Definitely? What was the best part about it?
Just being with people and discussing things that they believe in and sharing my beliefs and not being judged for it and just being free.
All right, cool. Anything else?
No, that's about it.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Cool. Is this something we put on our Tinder profiles, looking for a Wiccan guy or anything like that?
Well, it would be a Wiccan girl, but no, because it's not something that I need from other people. It's how I practice something and how I deal with my time. If somebody had an issue with that, then I'm pretty.
Sounds like you need to think about this. So is there anything particular that we discussed here today? As a group?
As a group, it was just a ritual to welcome Lammas.
What's that?
Lammas is the beginning of the harvest season. So it's just worshiping and thanking for what we're given.
Very cool, very cool. What's it mean to you guys? Anything, you don't have anything to say?
I heard something about protection. This was my first time here. There was a lot about protection, and just it seems like there's a lot of diversity in it. It was really welcoming. It didn't seem overly biased one way or the other. It just seemed like a very wholesome interaction with a lot of like-minded people.
What could it be like biased for or against? What do you mean?
Well, I feel like that there's a lot of negative stigma when people think about paganism or any other culture that's not like one of like the three like most popular religions, right? So it's just nice to be able to have that open-mindedness and people that are in the same boat, you know?
Thanks. Anything else? All right, thank you. I think we got a lot here, ladies. Thanks a lot.
All right. Would you like to share some of our bread with
Yeah.
us?
I would like to have some bread.
You as well, cameraman.
Come on.
No.
Too many carbs for him, I think. It's looking a little stale, girls. I'm not gonna lie.
It's actually really good.
No, it's not bad. You're right.
It makes us look like freaks.
I'm just gonna let your words be presented.
Sounds good.
What did we learn today here at the beach in the Pagan Festival? Well, we learned that people at the beach don't really pay attention to the news or politics at all. But we also learned a lot about paganism and Wiccanism and all that good jazz. Ate some bread. You know, not really sure what we were talking about, to be honest. They're kind of right. It all sounds the same as other religions, just put to another name. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to donate to me on Patreon. The link is in the description. This is what Andrew does. Do what I say, not as I do. Just throw. I wish I had a baseball just to throw at the camera right now. Should have brought that. Next time. Oh, and I forgot to say how hot it is. That's true too. Let's skedaddle.